Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and demons of stupidity. It is I, Alistair Crowley III, Deputy of Common Sense, and your Strigoi streamer of vampiric videos. So, this is gonna be a weird kind of video. I know there are certain topics that I don't really cover at all, even though they're important. I didn't cover the Covington kids. I don't cover Linda Sarsour. I haven't covered Captain Marvel or Star Wars despite being a huge geek. However, there's one subject that I haven't covered that I really don't want to cover. But I'm doing it anyway. We'll talk about it in just a tick. Renfield, launch the intro.
There is nothing wrong with your browser. Do not attempt to refresh the page. We are now controlling all that you see and hear. We control the horizontal and the vertical. We can delude you with 1,000 videos or expand one single frame to crystal clarity and beyond. We can shape your vision to anything our imagination can design. We shall control all that you perceive until we see fit to release you. You are about to experience the depths of depravity that reach from the folly of human pursuits to the Deputy of Common Sense. Please stand by.
So, let's get this over with. Let's talk about Vic. I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name. It's pointless. I tried 15 different times in this recording, couldn't do it. So, for clarity's sake, we're talking about the Dragon Ball Super voice actor. I'll be completely transparent with you. I really don't want to cover this topic, but not for the reasons that you might think. I am a Dragon Ball fanatic. I have been since I was a lad of 12. I think I always will be. I play the games, I watch the shows, I buy t-shirts, figures, and other collectibles. I've made Dragon Ball AMVs on my other channel, including a 13-minute inspirational AMV about Vegeta. I downloaded an emulator and a ROM for that ancient hyperdimension game from almost 25 years ago. I will be a Dragon Ball fanatic until the day I die. And that's the problem. I can't do this. I can't bring myself to dive into the toxic underbelly of the fandom and wade through all the hate, the misery, the lies, and the scheming. I can't look into the hearts of all the wicked people involved with this. I can't do it. I can't listen to the words they speak with their forked tongues as they cry their crocodile tears and smile their Chelsea grins while they gleefully destroy an innocent man's life. I can't do it. I can't do any of that. I just can't. Because if I do, something precious inside me will be snuffed out like a candle. Let me make things clear. I stand with Vic. Make no mistake about that. I just don't want to be anywhere near this. But still, I'm going to do it anyway, because it's important. I tried to make a video about this yesterday. I spent 3 hours researching this, and I just lost it. Seeing all those people reveling in the destruction of an innocent man, throwing him under the proverbial bus, all of that made my blood boil. I felt rage that I haven't felt in 6 years. Rage that hadn't existed since I started my new medication. So I knew I had to stop. I'm too close to this issue. It's affecting my mental health in a dangerous way. You might think that this is a bit weird, maybe a bit dramatic, but by the end of the video, you'll understand why this has such a profound negative effect on me. Let me repeat myself. I am too close to this issue. I cannot remain objective for reasons that I will explain in a minute. So anything I say about Vic is from a deeply biased lens. I can't help that. However, let's first go into why I feel this way before we discuss Vic. I am not a person who likes to lose control. Almost everything you see on this channel that seems over the top is acting. It's entertainment. I don't like to lose control because losing control for me is dangerous to me and other people. I'm mentally ill. I have a severe form of bipolar. I also have minor PTSD. However, unlike that fraud Melody Hensley, I didn't get it from Twitter. I've been mentally ill my whole life. I was born with what I have. And from the moment I was born, this curse has followed me around like a sword of Damocles, just waiting to descend and sever my sanity from my mind. For as long as I can remember, I have lived in constant fear that I was under threat by absolutely everything. Up until the last few years, I have lived in constant fight-or-flight mode. I had night terrors every night. I couldn't regulate my body temperature. I had narcolepsy and sleep apnea. I was controlling, egomaniacal, stubborn beyond the point of reason, prone to psychotic outbursts, both of the verbal and physical nature. In the end, I became a danger to my family. So they sent me to a treatment center far, far away. They thought the treatment staff would take care of me. They thought they would help me. They were wrong. I was starved, beaten, locked in windowless rooms for minor infractions. They used denial of visitation from my family as a threat. They kicked me, they punched me, they threw me against walls, they starved me, all because I wouldn't obey their every whim. They rarely left bruises. They were careful about that. They would check me for bruises, and if they found any, they would make sure that my parents were not scheduled for a visit, and if they were, they'd cancel on the pretense of a fictional psychotic breakdown. They'd threaten to recommend that I be transferred to a permanent mental ward if I said anything. They wouldn't even give me proper food. Calling the portions that they served miserly is the understatement of the century. If it was ravioli night, they'd give me 3 individual ravioli, no sauce, a slice of bread, a few broccoli pieces, and a glass of calorie-free beverage. Before I left home, I was 240 lbs. I was overweight. That's certain. But the way I lost weight wasn't healthy. I wore size 38 jeans before I left home. When I left the program, I wore size 32. I lost 70 pounds. And I was only there for a year and a half. That's not healthy weight loss. That's starvation. Also, keep in mind that when this was going on, I was 12 years younger than I am now. I was 18 years old. I'm 30 now. 170 is an average weight for my height, age, and build. It was then and it is now. But losing 70 pounds in a year and a half is a bad thing. It is not healthy. I melted off the weight. It wasn't because I was exercising and eating a healthy diet. It was because I was being given portions that a prison inmate would complain about. Everyone else there was losing an equal amount of weight. They starved us all. We went to bed hungry every night, with the acid in our stomachs eating at our throats. I have a damaged part of my throat now, and I have to take a proton pump inhibiting drug if I even want to go near spicy food. I love spicy food. I can't eat it like I used to, though. These people took so much from me. They took a part of my soul. They destroyed it. They beat me. They starved me. They lied to my parents to make them believe it was me acting up instead of them. And that's how I ended up with PTSD. I have deep psychological scars from the way they treated me. I'm terrified of hospitals in a way I wasn't before. I'm extremely suspicious of people who claim they want to help me. I have trouble trusting doctors and psychologists because I'm wondering if there's an ulterior motive. And on some level, I will always be afraid that I'll have to go back to where I was. I'm terrified of that. These people stole a year and a half of my life, as well as my peace of mind. I've spent the last decade coming to terms with the way I was treated. And this whole issue with Vic just brings it all back. Watching these people abuse an innocent man for their own selfish gain gives me flashbacks to my days in treatment. It makes me physically ill. It makes me afraid. It makes me want to hide. However, I stopped hiding years ago. I refuse to hide from my past, and I'm going to speak my mind about what these horrible people have done to an innocent man. If you're expecting a deep analysis of the situation, the accusations, and the evidence, you'll be disappointed. I'm not going back to that online cesspool to dig around for more fecal nuggets of hate and deceit. I won't do it. However, I will tell you my thoughts on the situation as I understand it. Vic is innocent. Every piece of evidence I found points to this. He is the victim of a targeted campaign of deceit, manipulation, threats, and cruelty, with the express purpose of ruining his life. The reason for all this is simple. Vic is a Christian who didn't want to sign gay fan art of characters he played, nor speculate on their sexuality. That made him uncomfortable. Look, I'm an atheist, and I think the belief in God is infantile, nonsensical, and vacuous. I think that the religious are cretinous buffoons. However, never once in a single video on this channel or anywhere else have I called for the censorship or the retraction of their rights and freedoms as human beings. I do attack them in my videos, quite often in fact. However, I want them to change their minds voluntarily. I want them to look at the evidence and make the conscious choice to renounce their faith. I want the same for every religion and its people. Yes, that includes Islam. I don't want anybody to lose their freedom nor their rights. I'd never advocate for censorship or any other authoritarian method of control in a serious manner. No matter what religion they practice, religious people have every right to practice their faith without fear of persecution. That is their right as a human being. Nobody should try to take that away from them by force. The SJWs, though, they would happily take away everyone's freedom simply to achieve their twisted version of utopia. They seek an Orwellian future. They are the thought police. Their thinking is Machiavellian, their methods are authoritarian, their collective moral compass is sociopathic, and their utmost desire is for absolute power. Hannah Arendt, a witness to the events in Nazi Germany, said this about the kind of people who believe such things. The ideal subject of totalitarian rule is not the convinced Nazi, nor the dedicated communist, but people for whom the distinction between fact and fiction, true and false, no longer exists. Now what does that sound like to you? Oh yeah, the Me Too movement. These people are rotten to the core. They enjoy inflicting pain on their foes. They get off on ruining the lives of innocent people. They get off on ruining the lives of anybody they disagree with. If what gives you joy is inflicting pain on innocent people to make yourself feel good, then you must be a hollow shell of a person who can only sustain his or herself on spite, malice and cruelty. Your souls are filled with spiders and the festering carcasses of your morality, your integrity, your honor, and your compassion. There is nothing inside you but spiders and hate. I can't fathom what kind of empty husk would do this to an innocent man who just loves his fans and is being forced to watch as they all turn on him. Vic, if you're watching this, mate, just know you're not alone in this fight. Real fans wait for evidence. Honest people wait for evidence. You have done nothing wrong. I love you as Edward Elric. I love you as Broly. I love you as Kensei Ma. I love you as Ikkaku Madarame. I love you as Nagato. I love you as Matt Ishida. I love you as Zero Kiryu. I love you as Death Scythe. I love you as you. And whether you are guilty or innocent, I will still treasure the characters that you brought to life. You will always have a special place in my soul. No matter what happens, stay strong and don't give up. If you can get through this, you'll be stronger and wiser for it. Don't lose hope. I understand all too well the cruel words, the threats, and the lies. I understand the feelings of alienation, as if there's an invisible anvil above your head just waiting to crush you. Though our situations were different, I know those feelings. You are not alone. Give them hell, Vic. And to the SJWs, I don't know what bent your lives out of shape. I don't know what transformed you from ordinary people into twisted, gibbering harlequins. I don't know how you can sleep at night after you do what you do. I don't know how you live every day with the lies, the cruelty, the pettiness, and the moral bankruptcy. However, I do know one thing. You are evil. Down to the very marrow of your bones, you exude an aura of corruption, greed, dishonesty, and malignant intent. You are emotional fucking cripples. Your souls are dog shit. Every single damn thing about you is ugly. You are the empty devils. You are sick, but you don't know it. A wise man once told me that the moment I stopped caring would be the moment that everything started to fall apart. At first, I didn't know what he was trying to tell me, but now I understand what he meant. And it's far too late to tell him that I'm sorry for not understanding sooner. It's a funny thing, really. The more you want to hurt someone, the easier it is to make them stop living. But no matter how much you love someone, you can't bring them back after they're already dead. This man is gone because he stopped caring. But I refuse to do the same. I care about so many things. I care about myself. I care about this world. I care about every single person you've beaten down and broken in your desperate attempt to claw your way up the social ladder. I'm not going to give you a bad time. People like you, who have taken so much, do not deserve to be given anything. Instead, people like you deserve an equal. Someone who wants to protect with every ounce of determination you use to destroy. So, SJWs, you are not going to have a bad time. Instead, I'm going to have lots of fun. Well, this looks like the end. I'm glad I got this off my chest. I feel a lot better now. Honestly, this was just a way for me to vent. I'm really pissed off about this. So I'm gonna go play Jump Force and try to forget about it. If you want to play with me, sorry, I'm not high enough level yet. I'll see you in the next video. I'm the Deputy of Common Sense. I dispense swift justice to those who aren't so swift, and I proudly stand with Vic.
Look, Captain, I want no more lectures. I called this meeting and I'm gonna have my say. But my whole life I've looked up to the League. You were my heroes, every one of you. And you were more than a hero. I idolized you. I wanted to be you. Whenever I was out there facing down the bad guys, I'd think, what would Superman do? Now I know. I believe in fair play. I believe in taking people at their word and giving them the benefit of the doubt. Back home, I've come up against my share of pretty nasty bad guys, but I never had to act the way they did to win a fight. I always found another way. I guess I'm saying I like being a hero, a symbol. And that's why I'm quitting the Justice League. You don't act like heroes anymore.
He's right.